Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food.
We at Prashanti offer our humblest pranams at the most sacred lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Welcome brothers and sisters, this is Nalini. Today on Prashanti, let's take you to the old mandir or the Patha Mandir, the first sacred ashram of Sri Baba. It is believed that the celestial gates of Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Vishnu, are open on the holy day of Vaikuntha Ekadashi. It was not a coincidence that the celestial abode itself was brought to earth by Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba when on December 14th, 1945, on the auspicious day of Vaikuntha Ekadashi, Sri Baba inaugurated the Patha Mandir. On the day of the inauguration, Baba came in a procession from Subbamma's house. Upon arrival at the site, he placed his hand, his palm on the ground in one particular corner of the land. Lo and behold, a spring of fresh water bubbled up. A well was built later on at this spot, and in the summer when all the local rivers and rivulets dried up, the water in the well remained, the water level in the well remained the same. Devotees from Bangalore prepared the inaugural feast, which kept multiplying to feed the entire village. Old Mandir was a small structure with 2 rooms, a veranda and a bhajan hall. A granite slab was fixed to the floor in the center of the veranda. Baba would sit on it during bhajans. It was called Omkar seat, for it had Om engraved on it. Devotees sat on either side of the granite slab. On a typical day, Baba used to dust all the pictures, decorate the idols and lead the bhajans, and he would perform the puja himself. No job was too small for Baba. He helped men devotees cook and lady devotees make garlands. He made puris with as much enthusiasm and perfection as when he built in later years the super specialty hospital in Puttaparthi. The divine Lord delighted the devotees by materializing sweets, chocolates, dates, and at one time he even materialized an emerald lingam inside upma balls. The devotees recall their Patha Mandiram days as being a veritable heaven.
Those days, there were no Omkaram, Suprabhatam or Nagar Sankirtan. Around 3 a.m., one could hear farmers going to their fields singing folk songs. That was the Omkaram for devotees. At 5 a.m., one could hear milk vendors saying, "Please buy my curd, milk, etc." This was the Suprabhatam. At dawn, Swami would rise, wash himself and drink a hot beverage. At 9 a.m., devotees would offer him the breakfast. Swami would taste a bit from each and offer the same as prasadam. After breakfast, anyone could do Pada Puja to Swami. There was an old cane chair in the old mandir, which would be placed in the center of the hall. Requesting Swami to place his lotus feet on a plate, devotees would wash the feet with scented water, wipe it and place kumkum and chanda. Bhajans would start at 11 a.m. At 1 p.m., everyone would assemble for lunch. Swami would take a little food from everybody, mix it, eat a little and distribute the rest as prasadam. Later, he would rest for a while. 4 p.m. That was the loveliest moment of the day, Swami would go to Chitravati and spend long hours with his devotees on the sands of Chitravati. They would return at about 8 p.m. and do bhajan. Swami would sit on a small swing and in the dim light of the lantern talk with his devotees in the backyard of Mandir. After devotees went to bed, Swami would take a stick and torch and go around the mandir to ward off snakes and scorpions. Devotees composed many songs and sung them in the divine presence. Swami composed many songs and poems as well.
Every inch of the mandir was hallowed by Baba's divine touch. For the next 5 years, till Prashanti Nilayam was built, the old mandir acquired the status similar to that of Vaikuntha of Lord Vishnu. Thank you for watching Prashanti. Jai Sai Ram.
Love is my form, truth is my breath, this is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, this is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, this is my food.
We at Prashanti offer our humblest pranams at the most sacred lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Welcome brothers and sisters, this is Nalini. When the construction work of the old mandir was going on, many prominent devotees started coming to Puttaparthi. Let's watch Baba talk about it.
Coffee Pudi Sakama took the place of Subbamma Ishwaramma after Subbamma left. One day she was doing prayers, but one of her servants comes into her prayer room and says, Amma, there's somebody who has come in a car and he's insisting that he wants to see you right away. He seems to appear like a sadhu. She comes out and she sees this very elderly looking man. Professor Kasturi writes in Satyam Shivam Sundaram, he had a very reverent looking beard. He comes in a car which is equally old. There's a nameplate which reads Kailash Committee. At the wheel, she sees a teenage boy, and the first look at this teenage boy, she wonders, this boy looks so young, who gave him a license? But a weird pair nevertheless. And she very cordially invites him into the house. He comes in and she offers flowers at his feet and she offers fruits. This man says, I am not a person who eats anything at any time. I have come here to invite you to become a part of this Kailash committee. You have to do that by giving a donation of 1,000 rupees. So she says, all right, because she's a very philanthropic lady. The king of Mysore gave her a title, Lokaseva Parayani, because she has done immense amount of charity. So 1,000 rupees was a big sum in 1940s. She readily says, all right, and she brings the money. When she gives the money, he gives the receipt and he says, you keep the money also. I'll come back later and take it. So she doesn't know what to do. She keeps the money and receipt and they just go out of the house. By the time she could come out to the courtyard, the car is already gone. But many years later, when she has the darshan of Swami in somebody's house, strangely, she looks at Swami. From one side, he looks like the old man. From the other side, he looks like this teenage driver. And the first thing Swami says is, where is that 1,000 rupees you promised to give me?
Around this time, a pious lady by the name of Sakama came into Baba's fold. Sakama had become the third wife of a rich coffee planter at age 16, but lost her husband 2 years after her marriage. She had no children. Eventually, Sakama established a very successful coffee powder business in Bangalore. In fact, Baba used to call her Coffee Pudi Sakama, meaning coffee powder Sakama. Incidentally, while I was growing up in Bangalore, I've come across many stores with the signboard Sakama Coffee Works. The way Baba entered her life is absolutely enthralling. Once she took refuge at the divine feet of Baba, Sakama never looked back. She dedicated her entire life to the service of her Lord. She treated Baba as her child. When Baba was busy with his devotees, he would not eat or sleep properly. Sakama would affectionately pull the young Baba away, pleading with him to eat. She would force him to take rest in the afternoons, but mischievous like Lord Krishna was, the moment she walked out of the room, Baba would run away to play with others, while she believed that he was resting in the other room. Sometimes Baba would roll his big eyes and pretend that he had fever. Sakama would become very nervous. With great concern, she would feel his forehead and cheeks, and she would rush around to bring herbal medicines. Baba and others would then have a hearty laugh. The sweet relationship between Sakama and young Baba was just like that of Yashoda Krishna or Karanam Subbamma and himself. Sakamma donated huge amounts of money to build Baba's sacred ashram, which we know today as Prashanti Nilayam. Truly a great present that she has bequeathed to posterity. Sakamma died at the age of 75 a few months before Prashanti Nilayam was inaugurated on November 23rd, 1950 on Baba's birthday. She did not live to see the inauguration of Prashanti Nilayam, but she had the great good fortune of seeing Baba before her death as Baba visited her in the hospital in Mysore. Baba had the same love and reverence that he did for Mother Ishwaramma and Karanam Subbamma. The devotees could see Baba's eyes well up when he spoke of her. More next time. Thank you for watching. Jai Sai Ram.
Let's kick off this morning with a word on Satya Sai Baba, to be featured in our famous segment called Prashanti. Prashanti is written, directed and hosted by a world famous artist by the name of Mrs. Nalini Bhatt. Enjoy.
Love is my form, truth is my breath, this is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, this is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, this is my food.
We at Prashanti offer our humblest pranams at the most sacred lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Welcome brothers and sisters, this is Nalini. We learnt in previous episodes that the difficulties of reaching the remote village of Puttaparthi never deterred devotees, for at the end of the road was the avatar himself waiting for them. Even Maharajas and Maharanis came trudging the mud roads. Let us watch.
Many great people, many rich people, Zamindars visited this place. The name, greatness of the Puttaparthi has spread far and wide. Mysore Maharaja visited, and the mother of Mysore Maharaja is highly orthodox. She would get down there, Karnatakapalli, and they'll keep some cloth on the ground. Placing her footsteps on this cloth, she would walk and reach this place. Puttaparthi has been visited by very great people. People received the services of Puttaparthi. The compassionate Lord of Puttaparthi will never give you up. He will take care of you, catching hold of your hand. He will take care of you every moment.
But no matter how exhausted people were after the journey, the moment they set their eyes on young Baba, they forgot all their hardships. After blissful stay with Baba, when the time came to say goodbye, the tears that they shed could fill up the Chitravati river. Mrs. Sucharita, who accompanied her parents to Puttaparthi in 1940s, recounts those days. Let us watch.
Our elders, my mother, aunts and all, they would stay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks also. Don't ask me what their husbands did. Before they left, they would cry, 3 days from before they had to leave Parthi, they would be in tears. The oncoming separation was too much for them to bear. This went on working on my mother's mind so much that once she composed a song on the pangs of separation. She had composed a song in the dream, and that morning Swami from the old mandir comes to Kamalamma's house to see that these people are given a farewell. And all these aunts were all excited. One more namaskar, one more talk with Swami. Then my grandmother says, "You sing that song you composed in the dream, Sundara." And my mother starts singing. After she completes the song, Swami takes over. He starts singing. On the spot composition, the song he sang had about 8 to 10 verses. Each verse, he dealt the advice of a mother to her daughter when she is going away to her husband's house. How to live with your elders, how to live with your brothers-in-law and sisters-in-law. He went on singing. Everyone was crying. "We will go, Swami. You please see that we come back here. That is our prayer." And he says, "Go, be a good girl, look after yours." That's the relationship between the mother and the daughter. Swami's love is the love of 1,000 mothers.
It was not just his miracles and manifestations that made people flock to Baba. His infinite love that flowed incessantly without expectation of anything in return drew people to him. Do not praise me, he said. Approach me without fear. You do not extol your father. You ask for something from him as a right. Is that not so? Baba never let the devotee's safety out of his vigil even for a second, even when they were away from him. He wrote letters to devotees, each line echoing his love. Here are some excerpts from a letter Baba wrote to an early devotee, Sundaramma. He wrote, Sundaramma, accept my blessings. When Sai is all protective, why are you expressing words of anguish? When Satya Sai is residing in your heart, how can bad elements enter it? Devotees' joy is the food of Sai. Their comfort and well-being is everything for Sai. See that these words are ringing in your ears like the sound of temple bells. Swami will never be far from devotees. You are like milk, I am like whiteness in the milk. No one can separate them. That's the relationship between a devotee and Baba. I do not punish people for mistakes, I correct them. What you think as punishment by me is a correction, a protection. Remembering Sai's name will ward off worries. When such a name shining like the diamond is with you, can the evil forces ever come near you? Will Swami allow them? Sai is near you. Worry no more, be happy. My blessings to children, Baba. That's our beloved Baba. Devotees can take heart from his oft-quoted saying, like the eyelids protect the eyes, I shall protect you and look after you forever. Thank you for watching Prashanti. Jai Sai Ram.